This podcast episode is sponsored by Stewardship Matters, Estate Planning.
Good day, seniors and active adults. Welcome back to our YouTube podcast, Get Your Weekly Slice, where we protect, inform, and educate you, our seniors and active adults, every week about what you should know as you age. It is about keeping you, our seniors, in the know. This is podcast Senior Scams Part 1 of 4-part series. And I'm going to begin the first one with an overview of some don'ts and what's causing or what's going to cause a concern with seniors and the elderly when it comes to senior scams. And I want to share with everybody, and I've mentioned it before in previous podcasts, that there are over 10,000 people who are turning 62 every day. Now, I want you to think about this. If there's 10,000 people every day, that's over 300,000 every month. Take that times 12, and you're talking about 3.5 million people turning 62 every day. We are living longer. I think everybody will agree that in previous years, we've never met or known so many people who are living into their 90s and in particular into their hundreds. So there is a lot of people out there, and currently that's 13, almost 14% of the population in the US that are in that demographic of 62 and above. Consider they're projecting that in 2030, that percentage is going to be upward toward 17 to 18% of the total population. Most people realize that that group of individuals, 62 and above, have the most equity in homes. And that's why you're going to start seeing an onslaught of scams out there, particularly for people knowing that seniors and active adults are the most vulnerable demographic to target. Now, here in Florida, people 65 and above currently is 18.5%. Again, that's going to increase, and it very well could be up to and maybe a little bit more than 20% of the total population in the state of Florida. AARP mentions that a third of the seniors coast to coast are the most vulnerable to get targeted when it comes to senior scams. Now, seniors are more trusting than the younger demographic. And I want you to understand that myself and Alba, we're certified senior housing professionals. We sell real estate. We help seniors go through the transition of downsizing, liquidating, and getting rid of all of their stuff while they transition into either an independent, assisted, or memory care community. Now, we're background checked on an annual basis, both Alba and I. And what that means is that they do a deep dive into our background, not 1, 2, or 3 levels, but 5 or 6 levels, to ensure that our background is spotless, which it is. And we have tags or pictures with the UPC code on it, where anybody who questions our validity regarding our background check, they can check it right away off of their cell phone. So brings it up, it's right there in front of them. Now, keep in mind, a lot of the targeting that's going to happen with senior scams, not all, but a lot of it, is going to be against people who live alone and or people who have impairments, such as they're disabled physically and or mentally. So those are going to be the targets. But also they're going to just be targeting people 65, 62 and above as time goes on. And it's going to be more prevalent because we're living longer and there's going to be more people that fit that demographic that becomes the most vulnerable. Now, there are 10 don'ts that I subscribe to that I want you to consider when you're answering the phone. And also, what I want you to let me back up for just a minute. When you're answering the phone, most scammers realize that you, as a senior or active adult, that you're home most of the time and you'll either pick up the phone because you're lonely, you want somebody to talk to, and they're more willing to have that conversation with you and sway you towards a scam. Now the 10 don'ts are: whatever you do, don't send money to receive money. Don't give out your social security number. Don't give out your credit card numbers. Don't say yes. Either don't answer or just say no. Don't give out any bank information whatsoever. Don't be pressured into buying anything. And what I mean by that is don't be pressured if they provide a deadline and or this offer, if you don't take it now, will never surface again. Don't be pressured into buying anything. Keep in mind they're experts on playing with your emotions. So don't get caught up and let your emotions run wild. Nothing, again, if it's too good to be true, it's a scam. Don't provide personal information. When you hear a pre recorded call, just hang up. And whatever you do, if you have a cell phone, a computer, do not click on any link until you verify that it came from that sender. Now, I'll give you an example. I get several texts on my cell phone that it won't say hi Mike, or it'll say is this Mike, and it'll have a link. As soon as I see those type of texts without any recognition of my name, or if it is, or they recognize or they say is this Mike, I delete them and don't think twice. And if somebody really wanted you or wanted to send a link to you, all you have to do, if you can, and in most cases you can, identify the phone number as to where it's coming from. Don't click on that link, because if you do, there's going to be a lot of trouble ahead for you. And all I'm trying to do is save you aggravation, because there's nothing more aggravating than trying to clean up when somebody's got your information or they've hacked you via that click or that link. So do not click on any links until you verify it with the sender. Okay? Again, don't send money to receive money. Don't give out your social security number. Don't give out any credit card numbers. Don't say yes. Don't answer or always say no. Do not give out bank information. Don't be pressured into buying anything over the phone. Emotions are being played on. They're playing on your emotions. Don't get caught up in that. Don't provide any personal information, children's names, ages, any of that. And if it's a pre recorded message, just hang up. And keep in mind that you can check your credit report every 4 months for free using the following reporting agencies: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Again, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. If you need those phone numbers, don't hesitate to call me. My contact information will be at the end or at the beginning of this podcast. Or you're on my website, you'll be able to connect with me via phone or email to get those numbers. And in the future, what I'm going to try and do, and it's in my goals to achieve, is to have a drop down box about senior scams, and I'll have all of those telephone numbers and or emails to the agencies if you ever get scammed and or want to check your credit report for free. I'll have the contact information for Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Keep in mind, if you do it every 4 months, each individual one, Equifax, 4 months later, Experian, 4 months later, TransUnion, you'll be able to get a free credit report. Okay? So if you've had any questions with that, don't hesitate again to give me a call. And one other thing, what I would suggest, and I know a majority, and you can raise your hands up, you can smile as I say this. How many of you are getting calls either daily, weekly, or monthly, every day, every week, every month, from someone who's always wanting to buy your home? And they're going to give you top dollar, they tell you. And they're going to pay for the closing costs. And it's going to be a quick close, cash, and that's it. I want you to understand that if you don't want to receive those type of calls, then you need to put your name on the do not call list. And keep in mind, if someone calls you once you have been placed, you have to do it. You can do it on your cell phone and also your landline home phone. All you do is enter the number in there and it's on the do not call list. Keep in mind, if they do call you, you may threaten them, because if they call you and ask to buy something or sell you something, most likely to sell you something, that's against the law and they can be fined up to $10,000 for that call. So just keep that in mind. Just threaten them. Just say, you're on the do not call list. And if you ever call me again, I'm going to turn you in. Or I have your number and I'm going to call the government and report your number that I received a sales call from you. But keep in mind, if you want, I'll provide it now, but keep a note that when you come back to my website, and I encourage you to utilize my website for information because I'm trying to keep it continually updated, put information on there that's going to provide information for you that's going to be needed, hopefully not needed, but at least you'll know if something happens to you, especially with the senior scam, or there's other information for you, there's other podcasts for you to review, to look, to learn, to educate yourself as to what's going to happen as you age. So if you come to the website, and again, I would like you to continue to come to the website because there's always going to be updated information there. I'll have that information for you. But what you could do is you could go to www.donotcallalltogether.gov. And that way you'll be able to put your landline and or your cell phone number or both, list it, and you should see a diminished amount of robocalls or calls to try and scam you. But keep in mind, it won't stop all of the calls. It'll stop a good majority of them. And all you have to do is threaten to turn them in because you are on the do not call list. I hope this helps. And again, go to my website to get this information in the very near future, and it'll be helpful. But I always want you to be cognizant of what people are out there trying to do every day. So you really need to be on your toes as we live and age longer. In closing, I hope you enjoyed today's Get Your Weekly Slice. If you'd like to discuss further today's topic, you can reach me via email at mike@your, Y-O-U-R, Florida, spelled out, Haven, Haven.com, or call me at 407-340-5291 to set up an appointment. I provide a free 1.5 hour in-person meeting to discuss your future plans on aging while providing you a minimum of 3 options to choose from. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. While on my website at yourfloridahaven.com, sign up for my monthly newsletter, RSV to any of my in-person events, which are held at the Orange County Library, Smarter Senior Seminar Series events, and to view any and all of my videos and podcasts. We hope these podcasts are helpful, and if they are, please share with your friends, family, and neighbors by letting them know what we offer as certified senior housing professionals, designated real estate agents, to our seniors and active adults as they age. We're a connector. It is about keeping seniors in the know. Till next time, when you come back to get your weekly slice.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Stewardship Matters, Estate Planning.